What if Earth's magnetic field vanished right now? No compass, no invisible shield, just silence where a protective force once hummed. Imagine satellites sputtering, auroras sliding toward the equator, and a sky that feels a little less safe. That's the first taste of a world without our magnetic shield. The magnetic field is an invisible bubble generated deep in Earth's core, and it bends and pushes away many charged particles from the sun. Without that bend and deflect behavior, the steady stream of solar wind would slam farther into the upper atmosphere and into our technology. In the hours after a collapse, radios and GPS signals would jitter. Satellites in orbit could be showered with charged particles, and electronics could fail. Power grids on the ground would be vulnerable to large induced currents, risking transformers and long-distance transmission lines within days to weeks. In the first week, high-latitude skies would light with auroras seen as far south as mid-latitude cities. Beautiful, but a symptom of the shield's failure. Flight routes that normally avoid polar regions would be rerouted because radiation at high altitudes would rise, forcing airlines to change operations quickly. Astronauts and frequent flyers would face higher radiation doses, pushing some missions to delay and prompting new safety rules for crews. Over months, satellites suffering hardware damage or charging failures would reduce GPS accuracy and could knock out communications and weather monitoring. Increased exposure to energetic particles would also raise background radiation at ground level slightly, especially near the poles, with public health monitoring needed. Animals that use magnetism for navigation, sea turtles, migratory birds, salmon, would become confused, altering migration routes and breeding patterns. Fisheries, ecosystems, and species that time migrations could misalign with food sources, producing ripple effects in coastal and marine food chains. Plants are less directly affected by magnetism, but pollinators and insects that navigate with magnetic cues could change behavior with ecological consequences. Over years and centuries, the steady battering of the upper atmosphere by the solar wind could slowly erode lighter atmospheric particles, a process measured over geological time. This is not an instant blow-away-the-air apocalypse. Loss of atmosphere like Mars experienced happens over millions of years without a magnetic shield. Still, the cumulative effect over a long time could thin parts of the upper atmosphere, altering chemistry and making the planet slightly less forgiving to life near space. Human infrastructure would bear most of the short-term economic shock. Satellite replacement, grid hardening, revised flight corridors, and booming demand for radiation-hardened tech. Scientists would race to retrofit satellites, strengthen power systems, and map radiation hotspots while emergency agencies update disaster plans. A weakened field might also let in more cosmic rays that create secondary particles in the atmosphere, nudging mutation rates up slightly over generations in exposed regions. But life on Earth has survived past magnetic excursions and even full reversals. Fossils show no synchronized mass extinctions tied directly to pole flips. The record suggests the biosphere is resilient, yet resilient doesn't mean unchanged. Shifting climates, altered ecosystems, and technological collapse would still challenge societies. The twist is this: a vanished field would change daily life more through technology and economy than immediate mass die-off, revealing how dependent modern civilization is on that invisible force. It's also worth noting that magnetic strength waxes and wanes naturally, and scientists monitor anomalies like the South Atlantic anomaly closely to understand trends. In the end, the magnetic field's disappearance would force humanity to adapt, redesign satellites, shield infrastructure, change how we navigate, and protect astronauts. The emotional takeaway is simple. We live inside a fragile, elegant shield we rarely notice until it falters, and that fragility reveals how connected life, technology, and deep Earth processes truly are. If this sparked your curiosity, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so we can explore more what-if questions about our planet together.